Okay, so we got our two first boards bolted on, which means that all our stringers are held in place. So now we'll start laying out our other board. We kind of just wanted to bring the sides in closer to the middle so we can make sure our spacing is good in the middle, and if there's any inconsistency, we can kind of just cheat a little space one side or the other. What do you think, Mom?
It's coming along. It's beautiful. How's it going?
Oh, hello. It's going good.
Getting there, huh?
Just roughing this in. Just gotta take a little bit off of that. Something about like that. I'm just going to remove a little bit more so that I can get my length where I want it up here. And now we should be good. And we are. Just use a piece of 3/8. Went off this aluminum here that's permanent. And just use it to mark it. So now I'll trim this once more. And then once I have my gap in here, then I'll come back with just a piece of 1/4 inch like this, and that's basically what our gap is here, more or less. And so kind of a rough trim, and then hopefully a final trim. So these aren't bolted down all the way right here, as you guys probably might notice. We don't have some bolts in it. A couple of different reasons. Number one, like this one here needs to come out, and that way we can reach in all the way down here and put these bolts in and fasten it from the outside in. But more importantly is that I don't have a support underneath these ends right now. This fiberglass stanchion ends right here, so that one's solid. But now I'm going to take a piece of aluminum strap and just cut it. I'll have to cut a pie in it and put a couple of little bends in it. But I'll just kind of make a rough radius like that, probably 2 bends, and then I'll put a couple of stanchions underneath that. So that'll be next. A couple Probably just two stanchions and then the plate on top. I think I'll probably just cut the plate first and weld it, and then we'll just put a couple of bolts in there to hold it up, and then I can cut the stanchion and get it marked in there and tack it and weld it up. And that will be that on that corner, I think.
What's going on, Dad?
All right, well, the time has come to deal with this issue. Been trying to put it off and trying to ignore it, but it's got to be fixed. The issue is that this corner over here is pulled in compared to this one. If you sight down the back of this rail, it's really obvious. And now that we're looking at it from outside, it's also very obvious. But we're gonna go ahead and fix it. So we're gonna need to come in here and cut this top rail, take about 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch out of it, pull it forward. And so what it's gonna do is gonna tip the plate. It'll stay the same as the bottom, but the top is gonna tip forward a little bit. And then this cap rail will match the fiberglass rail outside. If you were to stand outside on the dock and look across, you'd see that the starboard side, the side that we need to fix, is like this, and the port side is like that. So we need to match them up. And we need to do that because, like I say, we're going to put a full shelter deck on here at some point, and we don't want all this error to translate into that and throw it off and also make it look, it'll look even worse because it's much taller, and you'll really see it then. You know, it's really not that much work. I'm gonna have to come in here and cut this weld underneath. I think I'm gonna start by just taking a chunk out of the cap rail, but we'll start by cutting the seam and cutting the weld underneath here, and that'll allow this to pop out. And once we get this cut in here, then we'll grab onto it, come along, we'll pull it forward and just see how easily it moves. If it looks like it's gonna move and it's not tipping this rail down too much, which I know it's going to, then we might be okay. Worst case scenario, we cut the plate out and then we realign the cap rail and get it where it needs to be, and then we put the plate back in.
Yeah, so that's what Dad's gonna start on.
Yeah, and
Aside from
meanwhile,
that, we made some excellent progress on the deck yesterday. I think we probably did 8 planks or something. Seemed like a lot.
yeah, quite a few. It went pretty quick. The sides are a little fiddly here. Just kind of getting these curves scribed in and that, and it turned out real good.
It looks great. I like how that turned out.
A couple funny spots here, like this. Not quite sure. You know, nothing's really going to hit that very much, but we might just fill in like a little tiny block right there and pin it to the other one. More than anything, it just keeps stuff from snagging on there, which might be a pretty good idea.
Yeah, it probably would, like catch a line or something like that.
And then we'll probably do the same thing up here, is just basically eliminate the gap between the boards and just put a sliver in there and then screw it into this piece from the side. These planks here that are cut is so we can lift it off just like we did up forward here, access our lazarette hatch. Forward ones will all just get bolted down, except this one right here, we're just going to tap the fiberglass and just hold it down that way, at least temporarily, until we just make some stainless plates to go underneath there with a nut welded to the backside. But that'll be sufficient for now, and that'll close everything up here. And that just basically gives us a starting point if we ever need to get into this deck. We have to essentially move like that first plank, and then we could go either way.
So yeah, anyways, pretty happy with how it turned out. Looks really good. Can't wait to finish it up. Just got these patches to gel coat here, and also we got to deal with our water fill here. That's just one of these cheapo plastic hatches that we hate so much. And then underneath it is the fill cap for the water tank there. What we're thinking is just cut a piece of laminated foam, put it up here. It'll be risen by 1.25 inches. That's the thickness of the foam plus the laminate we have on it. And then we have just a regular fill tube.
Regular fill pipe.
Yep.
So we'll just use a rubber adapter between the two.
So that'll get it up off the deck, keep driving water from hitting it, and make it a little simpler too.
Be a little comfortable to reach in there and take the fill cap off to fill it, but it won't be that bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's a 400-gallon tank, so it's not like you got to fill it up very often.
And that'll also save us from having to like keep a close eye on it, because like say you're filling your water tank, this is under the deck, so you can't overfill it, otherwise it is just flowing into your tankage compartment and forward to the bilge. So that'll it'll just fill up the tank and come out of here and pour out, and yeah, be easy then. Alrighty guys, so that's got the skill saw out, got his line marked. Just gonna slice through the cap rail and go from there. Yeah, we just use the cheapo blades for cutting aluminum. It's framing blade, $11. So we don't know how to feel about spending like $40 on metal cutting blades and whatnot. Let us know in the comments down below if you've ever used them on aluminum or not. No, they tend to get gummed up and trashed pretty quickly, it seems like. So
Got a lot of aluminum with these blades.
Yeah. if you want, you could probably jigsaw the rest. I can go do the outside. I can bring it to the outside.
Yeah, because it can cut down to there at least with it, and then back up a pretty good ways. Yeah. All right, folks. Well, got this this seam cut right here, and a little bit relieved off the bottom of this forward plate. It's pretty darn rigid and stiff. We hooked a strap on here. I didn't really think this would be enough to pull it, and it's not. It's just not safe. This setup, the C-clamp on here, And then more importantly, using a strap is a tensioning device isn't very ideal. It stores a lot of energy, so if this clamp breaks or this strap breaks loose, it's gonna slingshot and you're gonna go a little bit better here. It's got a big eye bolt from, it was on the boat here from something, I forget what it was, but it was on
Raised
there.
combing.
Raised combing, yeah. So we're gonna drill a hole about up here, and then we picked up some chain and our chain hoist from home, chain ratchet, I guess, and that's what we're gonna use to put some pressure on this, see if it'll pull in. And so the nice thing about chain is that it won't store that kind of kinetic energy as a strap or even cable would. So a much safer way to pull or move heavy loads.
Yeah, still right.
And I bored a hole through this piece of 3/8. We're just gonna put it on the back side of here so it kind of spreads the force out against the plate here instead of just localizing it in one spot and probably divoting our plate right here and making it look ugly. So I'm just gonna put this on the outside here. And with that block out of the way, now we got a better look down here. That actually did pull in quite a bit, so you guys can see that. And if you see right where it meets the plate down there, okay, so we put a little relief on the bottom of this plate right here, so it shouldn't be digging into the bottom of the cap rail now. We're just gonna pull it in until these guys kind of meet, and you know, we'll probably have to take some more material out of here. We're just trying not to like jump the gun and remove too much because it'll be really hard to match that back in. We'll see. Look, oh, that's moving like way easier now. Go right there.
Oh yeah.
It just got hooked up on that again, huh?
You might need to cut back a little bit more just to allow it to spread on this little cut here.
Trim the spot that we just did.
No, on the weld that you've done, just so that this plate will lift just a hair.
Oh, right, I see. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that has actually already opened up over here.
All right, Matt just cut that a little bit more. I don't know if you guys can see that. Well, yeah, you should be able to see that. Little silver line is where he cut it. I was watching this when he was cutting this, I could see this gap closing in, so it just closed up like another 1/16 of an inch. So that's come in a good bit now. That gap started out at 7/16, so that's closing in on a 1/8 inch gap there now. So looking down the back now, it's looking pretty good. I'm just gonna put a couple more clicks on this. Some of the pressure did come off already as it came in.
So yeah, against the back, you can kind of still see a little bit. This side of us is just a little bit out of plane compared to the other side on the port. You may be able to see, it's kind of hard with all the reflections, but you can see up here, it's a jigsaw gap and it widens as we go this way, and as well as a little bit of overlap right here. Bottom is gapping and it's dropping. And the bolts no longer align. So it's all kind of doing what we anticipated.
All right, well, since you guys been gone, we trimmed this a couple more times, and then I was just pulling it in. It went pretty smoothly, and then something popped a little bit, and just thought it was hung up down here, but looks like it cracked right there. So this was actually our other seam. So that's fine. Really no harm, no foul. Got an awful lot of gap now here, which we knew was gonna happen because of the way this is getting pulled in. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and cut the rest of this weld down on the bottom here, detach this plate. We'll get this pulled in where it needs to be and just get everything lined up again.
Yep, pretty much start over, but
yeah,
you know what we're doing here.
Yep, this will have to be cut out and redone now at this point anyways, so seeing as how it just cracked it. I guess I could feel it was getting pretty stiff. I was putting a little bit of force on it there, so
yep.
I guess not a big surprise that happened.
Yeah.
This is looking a whole lot better down there. That is actually really close now.
Yeah, it is.
It's actually, like you said, it's just about dead on. Let me push you guys out now that you can see as I come real slow right back against the white of the outside of that rub rail. It's dead on. And same thing as we look down on the plate there. So that was really far off before. Well, sometimes you get it the first time, sometimes it takes twice. Sometimes it takes 3. We're only at twice right now, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I'm happy. I'm happy that we tore into it. It just needed to be done.
Yeah.
All right, well, cool.
Carry on. Carry on.